Text to columns. We can use this feature in Excel to easily split data that's all jammed together into one column, column D, into various columns. Now imagine how tedious this would be if you had to go in here and just kind of copy and paste each of these little items into its own column on the right. Now what do I mean by its own column? Well, if I were to put in rank, which would mean the number 1 for Tokyo, number 2 for Seoul, and here I put in the city name, here the country, and here the population. Well, this would take you a long time, and imagine if you had hundreds or thousands of rows of data. So each thing in here represents a separate column. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different things, just like I've typed out here: rank, city, country, population. So we're going to use this feature, text to columns, to easily change this and move it over into its respective separate column. So later on you could pivot the data or work with it in some meaningful way. So where is this feature? Well, if you click Data here on the ribbon and you scroll over, there it is, text to columns. And if you just hover the mouse, not click it, but just hover the mouse over top, it gives you a nice explanation. You could even press F1 for more detailed background on what it does. So let's start off with step 1. Step 1 is to select the data that we're working with. So I know that this data is all together. I can just hold down the Control key, hold down the Shift key, press the down arrow button. So I've selected all the data. I can see how far down it goes. I'm just going to scroll back to the top. Now I'm going to press text to columns. So we're still on data, text to columns. And the next thing we have to look at is this part. So now we're on step 3, delimited or fixed width. That's this little box that pops up. That's the first thing that we have to look at. Fixed width would mean, as it says here, the fields are aligned in columns with spaces between each field, and it's almost like you could just look straight down, but we don't have that. Here, you see how the line is always moving between the city name and the country name, so we wouldn't want to chop it that way. I'll show you what would happen if we were to stay with this option, click Next. See, look at that. It can't really interpret where this is supposed to go. It's only after the first one where it's a standard thing. You have a number and then you have a space. But if we were to manually add these arrow buttons, well, we're always going to run into a problem because we can't really divide it properly. So we'll just go back, change this to delimited, and click on the next button. And now, so we've answered delimited or fixed width. We're going with delimited. What is the delimiter? So we look at here, and what is it that separates the different things from each other? The rank from the city from the country from the population. Well, I've already filled this out, other and the little minus symbol. Look what would happen if I had selected something different. If I come up here and say Tab, Next, see, it's not working. It's not going to do anything really. So I come back here, uncheck that, click Other. Watch what's going to happen down here. This is the data preview area. Type in the minus sign, and magically Excel understands now what we want to do. We can go down here and check, and I don't see any problems at all. Sometimes there might be 1 row or 2 rows, but I think everything looks perfect. So we go back to the top, and then we click the Next button. And at this point, what you could do is just leave it at General. So there's some more advanced options here. I'll maybe make another video in the future. But at this point, all we have to decide is step 5, destination. Do you want to keep the data, the original data, as it is, just in case something happens later on? Or you could do that, and the only thing you'd have to change is destination. See, right now it says D19. It's going to start splitting it here, and it's going to put the rank in this column, the city over here. But I don't want that. So for destination, D19, I'm going to click this little button right here, press E19, Press this again, and that means it's going to leave the original data here, and then split it from here, rank, city, going to the right. So I'll click Finish, and the box automatically closes. We have our original data, and you can see how it's nicely split this all the way over. And the numbers are aligned to the right. Like if you go to the Home tab here, if nothing is changed for the horizontal alignment, a number naturally goes to the right, so here and here, population and rank, and the text goes to the left. That's what Excel does by default. So we can scroll down here, and everything is the way we want it. And now, we could do pivots, pivot the data very easily, but I'll leave that for another video.